Often the surface of life conceals depths we cannot even imagine. Most people move through their days believing they understand their whole story until hidden chapters can emerge at any moment. One mother's secret would remain buried for decades until a revelation would shake the very foundations of her family's reality. A story that would unfold 4 decades in the making and challenge everything they thought they knew. Beyond the glaring headlines of political drama and celebrity gossip, there is a world full of amazing human stories. While we search for miracles beyond our realm, we often overlook the most astonishing miracles right in front of us. The remarkable capacity of human beings. Every day, extraordinary tales unfold across the globe, most of which remain unheard, unnoticed, such deep stories that even a coincidence and connection sound unbelievable. This is a story of separation, fate, and a bond that remained unbroken against all odds. In 1939, a young girl of 15 living in the small town of Piqua, Ohio, found herself with an impossible decision. Pregnant with twin boys, feeling overwhelmed, she made a heart-wrenching choice that would echo through decades to come. Unable to provide a life she felt her children deserved, she made a painful decision to place them for adoption. The twin brothers were separated at only 21 days of age, each to different families in Ohio. The adoptive parents had been told the other twin had died, a misunderstanding that would last for many years. One remained in Piqua, while the other was taken to a family about 100 kilometers away. And their lives ran parallel with each other. Both had done well at school, gone on to higher education, married and raised families, never knowing the other existed. Their paths could have forever remained diverged, their connection a mere whisper in the grand tapestry of the universe. But fate, with its mysterious choreography, had other plans. A chance conversation, an overheard snippet, would become the key that unlocked a story of extraordinary reconnection. Sometimes the most incredible stories are not in the sensational, but in the subtle, almost imperceptible threads that bind human experiences together. A seemingly ordinary day at the courthouse would become the catalyst for an extraordinary revelation. Lucille Laurie, lost in the routine of filing documents, found herself unexpectedly drawn into a conversation that would change everything. A familiar name caught her attention, the name of her adopted son's birth mother. But it was more than just a coincidence. The conversation revealed something remarkable. Her son's twin brother was alive. "I often wondered about my son's other half," Lucille would later reflect, "but I knew I couldn't intrude on another family's life." Despite being open with Jim about his adoption, the search for his twin lay dormant for decades. It wasn't until Jim turned 39 that curiosity finally overcame hesitation. It was a journey of reconnection that started at the district court, where the adoption records held the key to a long-lost connection. 3 weeks of careful investigation led to a moment both brothers had unconsciously anticipated their entire lives. When they finally met, something extraordinary happened. Jim's nervousness evaporated the moment he saw his brother. It wasn't like meeting a stranger. It was like looking into a mirror of parallel lives. Their connection transcended the years of separation, drawing the attention of scientists and media alike. What unfolded was beyond belief. Despite being raised in different families, in different circumstances, the twins had lived virtually identical lives. It was as if an unseen thread had guided their paths, creating a narrative so extraordinary that it seemed to defy logic. Scientists were fascinated. They compared the brothers' biographies in minute detail. What they found was nothing short of miraculous, a story of coincidence so profound it has challenged everything we know about identity, nature, and nurture. The twins were not just similar. They were practically the same person, living parallel lives separated by miles but united by an inexplicable connection that would captivate the world. At first, it seemed like a simple coincidence. Both boys were named Jim. Not so strange, right? Names like that are common. But as their stories unfolded, the similarities between these twins became extraordinary, almost unbelievable. As the years passed, both Jims matured, married, and had children with women of the same name, Lena. Their marriages saw their fair share of turmoil, resulting in divorces around the same time. They each remarried, and their new wives happened to share another common name, Betty. If that wasn't a strange coincidence, Their Bettys even looked much alike and had identical temperaments. Scientists became fascinated and started to research more about the lives of these unbelievable twins. But that wasn't all. Both Jims later had sons born in the same year and month, and yes, their sons shared the same name too, Alan. Except for one difference. One Jim spelled it with 2 L's, while the other used just one, yet the result was the same. The 2 boys each had sons named James Allen. Their families weren't the end of it. Growing up, the twins each had a dog, and both gave their pets the same name. In school, they excelled in math and science but struggled with spelling. And as adults, their lives mirrored each other in astonishing detail. They preferred the same beer, smoked the same brand of cigarettes, and shared identical tastes in food. Both men had been deputy sheriffs, both drove blue Chevrolets, and they had taken vacations on beaches in Florida. Indeed, the similarities startled even them. Still, both of them confided that before their encounter, each felt something missing his whole life, an elusive gap that ended there and then as they merged. Psychologist Thomas Bouchard extensively studied the twins, trying to understand their incredible bond. His conclusion? Genes have a profoundly determining influence on behavior, intelligence, and life choices. But this explanation, although apparently logical, was not shared by all scientists. Most of the researchers were influenced by a well-established theory that suggested that babies are born like tabula rasa with influences from the environment as their main shaper. The Jim story has confronted this belief, leaving the experts divided. The twins didn't mind being the center of scientific debate. For them, this was an opportunity to discover more about each other and enjoy the fascinating journey of their shared lives. The twin brothers did not spend much time together while being studied by scientists. Instead, they were put through a series of mental and physical tests that continued to amaze and confuse the researchers. On written exams, the twins continually gave the same answers. Even more astoundingly, when asked to draw pictures, they drew similar pictures. Given the thousands of things a person might draw, this was quite a coincidence. The surprises didn't stop there. The brothers were asked to write stories based on their drawings. Astoundingly, their stories were almost the same. One scientist remarked that it was as if one person had taken all the tests, not 2. To the researchers, the twins were like 2 versions of the same person in different bodies. Mysteries mounted as scientists discovered even more traits they shared. Both had health problems in common, the strange habit of biting one's nails. "The fact is, my brother and I have much in common," said one Jim. "But there is a difference. We have chosen hairstyles that are different. Is it a coincidence or something more?" The story of Jim and Jim does test our views on genetics and human development. Are we underestimating the major role genes play in determining human lives, or is this just an anomaly, an incident that happens only once in a million? Up to today, scientists still break camp. Some see this as proof of genetic programming. Others insist that the best determinant of who we become is environment. The Jim twins leave us pondering whether we really began our life as blank slates, or a large part of who we will become was written into the code. What's touching is the way their story unfolded. Almost 80 years now, the twins live near each other, filling the void they had felt for so long. They spend time together, enjoying a bond that seems almost otherworldly. While the scientific community may never fully understand the phenomenon of Jim and Jim, the twins themselves have found peace in their shared lives. Will we ever uncover the full truth behind their extraordinary connection? Perhaps one day. For now, their story leaves us amazed, intrigued, and eager for answers.